My brothers and sisters, my friends across Africa, the Arab world, and around the globe, I ask you to stay with me until the end. Today, I speak not only as the leader of a nation, but as the son of a continent that has endured too long under disrespect, arrogance, and the hands of those who think they can decide the destiny of others. I speak because something happened recently that cannot be ignored, something that concerns not only Qatar, but every free and sovereign nation that dares to stand on its own feet. Last night, the skies over Doha carried echoes that should never have been heard. What happened in Qatar should never have taken place. Not in our world today, not in an age that claims progress, international law, sovereignty, and mutual respect. I come before you to make it clear, Qatar is an independent and sovereign country. It is not to be dictated to. It is not to be humiliated. Like every other nation, Qatar has the right to security, dignity, peace, and the freedom to chart its own path without interference. Burkina Faso and Qatar share strong relations built not on words but on respect, solidarity in hardship, and cooperation in opportunity. Qatar has shown Africa that true partnership can exist without arrogance, without chains, and without exploitation. That is why I say to the world's eye, we value Qatar, and we stand with Qatar. After last night's events, I personally spoke with His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. We spoke as leaders, yes, but more importantly as brothers. I assured him that Burkina Faso and Africa stand firmly with Qatar. I told him to remain strong, to never doubt that he has friends and partners who will not leave him isolated. Our support is not symbolic, it is real, practical, and total. This is bigger than Qatar. It is about the principle that every country deserves respect, that sovereignty is sacred, and that dignity is non-negotiable. I know the threats and pressures. I hear the whispers from certain Western capitals trying to silence us, intimidate us, and bend our will. They warn me to stay quiet, to abandon this path of independence. But I was not born to bow. I did not take this responsibility to surrender. I will not kneel before those who think their power entitles them to control us. I say it again. I will not bow. And to the people of Qatar, I say with sincerity, you are not alone. You are not abandoned in the dark. You are not isolated, no matter what others want you to believe. Your economy is strong, your influence is important, and your role in the world is vital. But what truly makes you powerful is not wealth or influence. It is your dignity. That dignity cannot be bought, cannot be sold, and cannot be stolen by threats or intimidation. It is your inheritance, your foundation, and your shield. Hold on to it. Remain strong. Not because strength is easy, but because strength is the only answer. When others try to shake your confidence, you must remain firm, not because firmness is comfortable, but because it tells the world we will not bend. We will not yield. We will not compromise our sovereignty. Show the world that Qatar is not a land to be dictated to, but a nation that knows its worth, a people who know their value, and a leadership that stands tall with dignity. Your sovereignty is not negotiable. Africa's sovereignty is not negotiable. And let this be understood by all: the sovereignty of any nation that values its independence, whether small or great, is not negotiable. When the dignity of one country is violated, it sends a message to all others. That is why we must stand together. Qatar's struggle for respect is not only Qatar's struggle. It is Africa's struggle, Asia's struggle, the struggle of every people who refuse to be treated as less than equals. So stand firm, Qatar. Do not doubt yourselves. Do not let the arrogance of others make you forget the strength that lies in your unity, your vision, your people, and the support of true partners across the world. You are not alone, and you will never be alone. As long as dignity has defenders, as long as sovereignty has guardians, and as long as humanity has voices that refuse to be silenced. In my conversation with His Highness Sheikh Tamim, we did not only speak about what happened last night, we spoke about the future. We discussed the projects we are building together, investments in infrastructure, energy, education, technology, defense, and agriculture. We spoke of creating opportunities for our youth, jobs for our people, and development that will lift millions out of poverty. Qatar has the capacity. Africa has the potential. Together we can shape a future stronger than any obstacle placed before us. Soon, I will visit Qatar, and when I go, it will not be as a guest, but as a partner, as a brother, as someone committed to building a bridge that no one can break. What happened last night must never happen. Not to Qatar, not to Burkina Faso, not to any sovereign nation. Violating skies, disregarding sovereignty, and dismissing international norms have no place in today's world. If we truly want peace and stability, then every nation must respect the borders, dignity, and choices of others. We cannot speak of peace in one breath and in the next trample on sovereignty. We cannot claim to defend democracy while undermining the right of nations to exist without interference. That is why I say clearly, the way forward is not arrogance. Arrogance blinds, destroys trust, and creates divisions no diplomacy can heal. The way forward is not domination. Domination belongs to the old world of empires, where the strong enslaved the weak and called it order. That world is gone and must never return. The true path forward is cooperation. The kind of cooperation we need is one that listens as much as it speaks, that gives as much as it takes, that builds instead of exploiting. The path forward is respect, true respect, not conditional respect, not the kind reserved only for the powerful while others are treated as tools. Real respect means every nation is seen as equal, every people valued for their dignity, their culture, their history, and their contribution. The path forward is solidarity, the solidarity where the strong share with the weak, and the weak stand tall beside the strong, not as beggars, but as brothers and sisters walking the same road. Qatar has a role in building that world. It has shown that even a small country in size can be great in vision, influence, and the capacity to build bridges between regions. Africa too has a role. Though scarred by centuries of wounds, Africa carries resilience, the strength to rise, to resist, and to inspire. Every region, east or west, north or south, has something to give, but let it be clear, the only way forward is if we treat each other as equals, not as masters and subjects. Humanity has no masters, not as strong and weak, for strength is meaningless if used only to humiliate. Not as rulers and ruled, for no nation has the right to govern the destiny of another. We succeed only when we recognize that dignity is shared, sovereignty is shared, and the right to exist in peace is shared. The future will not be built by those who cling to the illusion of superiority. It will be built by those who extend their hand, who build trust, who embrace cooperation without conditions. And I say to the world, from Ouagadougou to Doha, from every capital where freedom is cherished, this is the path forward, and we will walk it together. My brothers and sisters, in Burkina Faso we are building our defense systems, strengthening our capacity to protect our skies, our land, and our people. What happened last night in Qatar must not happen over Ouagadougou, Bobo Dioulasso, or any part of our homeland. We build not to threaten, but to defend. We prepare not to dominate, but to secure our sovereignty. Every nation has this right, and we will exercise it fully. The message is clear. Sovereignty is sacred. Dignity is sacred. Independence is sacred. These are not things to be negotiated, not things to be traded for aid, not things to be sacrificed under pressure. We are ready to work with all nations that respect us, but we will never submit to those who do not. And today, I extend the same assurance to Qatar. We will walk with you, and we will support you. We will strengthen our relations with you, because the world must understand that peace is not a gift handed down from one powerful nation to the rest. Peace is a responsibility shared by all, and peace cannot exist without justice. Peace cannot exist without respect. Peace cannot exist while some nations believe they are above the law, and others must simply accept whatever is imposed upon them. Peace must be built on equality, on cooperation, on a shared destiny. That is the message of Burkina Faso. That is the message I carry, and the message I send to the world today. To the youth listening across Africa, the Middle East, and beyond, know this: the future is not written by those who intimidate. The future is not dictated by those who call themselves powerful. The future belongs to those who stand tall, who protect their dignity, and who unite with others in respect and cooperation. That is how Africa will rise. That is how Qatar will remain strong. That is how the world will find peace. When I spoke with Sheikh Tamim, I felt his determination, his strength, and his refusal to bow to intimidation. I told him I share that determination. I told him Burkina Faso shares that vision. Together, we will continue to build. Our partnership will not be broken. Our projects will not be stopped. Our dreams will not be silenced. We will continue, because history is on the side of those who defend dignity. To those who think they can silence me with threats, let me answer clearly, you have already tried. You tried with words, with warnings, with pressures, but I am still here, I am still speaking, I am still leading, and I will continue, for my people, for Africa, for all sovereign nations who refuse to be treated as less, and for the principle that no one, no matter how strong they believe themselves to be, has the right to strip another people of their dignity. What happened in Qatar must serve as a lesson for the world, not just another passing event or empty headline, but a lesson written in bold letters for all humanity to read. A lesson that peace, no matter how strong it appears, is fragile when respect is absent. Peace cannot survive where arrogance rules. Peace cannot endure where sovereignty is ignored. Without respect, treaties mean nothing, dialogue becomes hollow, and promises collapse like sand in the wind. Sovereignty is not just a word, not just a phrase repeated in speeches, not just something written on paper by diplomats. Sovereignty is the foundation of international order. It is the shield that protects nations from chaos. It is the principle that allows small countries to stand beside great powers without fear of being erased. Without sovereignty, there is no equality among nations. And without equality, there can be no peace. Those who believe they can intimidate one nation must reflect carefully. When you try to break the dignity of one country, you are not just challenging that nation. You are challenging the dignity of all. You send the message that sovereignty means nothing, that independence is an illusion, that the powerful can do as they wish. And if that is the message you send, then you must also be ready for the truth. No nation is safe, not even the strongest, because today it is Qatar. Tomorrow it could be any of us. Today the skies over Doha are tested, but tomorrow it could be the skies over Ouagadougou, Bamako, Abuja, Cairo, or any capital in the world. If we do not stand together, if we do not defend one another, if we allow this principle to be broken once, then none of us are safe. We would live in a world where might decides what is right, where the small are silenced, and where dignity becomes a privilege instead of a right. That is why we must not remain silent, why we must not look away, why we must not say it is their problem and not ours. The dignity of one is the dignity of all. The sovereignty of one is the sovereignty of all. If we fail to protect it for Qatar today, we weaken it for ourselves tomorrow. But if we defend it today, we strengthen it for all who will come after us. That is why I break my silence, not only to speak for Qatar, but for all nations that seek peace, respect, and dignity. I break my silence to send a message to the world: enough of the arrogance, enough of the double standards, enough of the disrespect. It is time to build a world where every nation, big or small, rich or poor, is respected as sovereign, independent, and equal. To my brothers and sisters in Qatar, I say again, remain strong, remain firm, remain unshaken. Do not let doubt enter your hearts or fear cloud your vision. Stand with the confidence of a people who know their worth. Your friends are with you. Your allies are with you. Africa is with you. Burkina Faso is with you. And I, Ibrahim Traoré, am with you personally and completely. The events of last night do not define you. They are but a passing storm in the history of your nation. Storms come and go, but the strength of a people endures. What defines you is not what others try to impose, but your dignity, your strength, your independence. It shows in how you carry yourselves with honor, in your ability to stand tall in difficult moments, in the choices you make for your people, in the projects you build, the schools and hospitals you create, the roads and bridges you construct, the economy you strengthen, and the future you are shaping. You are small in size, but great in ambition, in dignity, and in respect. Do not let anyone take that away from you. Your dignity cannot be stolen, your independence cannot be erased, and your strength cannot be broken unless you allow it. And I know you never will. You are not alone. Every African who understands the meaning of sovereignty stands with you. Every free nation that values dignity stands with you. Every citizen of the world who refuses to accept injustice as normal stands with you. Together we form a shield that arrogance cannot break, a voice that cannot be silenced. Remain strong, Qatar. Remain firm, remain unshaken. Your friends watch you with pride, your allies walk beside you with loyalty, and history records your resilience as a lesson for generations to come. I will soon stand on Qatari soil, not as a visitor, but as a brother. I will come to celebrate our partnership, to launch new projects, to deepen our cooperation, and to show the world that our relations are not shaken by intimidation. They are not built on fear, but on respect, dignity, and solidarity, and they will grow stronger every day. Let us all commit that what happened last night should not happen again. Not in Qatar, not anywhere. Let us commit that peace is not a slogan, but a duty, sovereignty not a privilege, but a right, and that together, standing as equals, we can build a world that is safer, fairer, and more peaceful for all. My voice today is not only my own. It carries the voices of millions of Africans, the voices of the oppressed, the dignified, the sovereign. And I lend that voice to Qatar to say to the world, we will not bow, we will stand, we will build, we will defend, and we will create a future where dignity is not negotiable. That is my message today. That is my message to the world.